Hello beautiful people, welcome to my channel. My name is Teresa and I'm your cruise director on the magical mystery tour that is this channel. Today we have two new products for you. We have the viral Hourglass Swan palette that people lose their minds over, and one that seems to be getting overlooked, which is the new Nars palette, which might be the only one you can get at this point in time. We're going to try both, do comparisons, see if I can find anything in my collection that is along the same lines. Before we get to that, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, ring the notification bell to be alerted to any new uploads, and if you like this video at the end, please give it a big thumbs up. Let's get to it. Now I'm putting my glasses on for a minute because I do want to be able to read some stuff for you. As I said, have picked up these two. I did not plan on getting the Hourglass palette this year. I have a few. I've never hit pan on the palette. What I have done in the past is hit pan on the ambient light, which I buy separately in any case, but I've never hit pan on the collections, probably because I've got so many things in my makeup, but I have been using them and reaching for them a bit recently. Didn't plan on getting this, was not getting up at 3 or 5 a.m. or whatever the insanity was here in Australia. Mecca have both of these products in Australia. It is known for the absolute FOMO with it. It's bananas. People sell them on Marketplace at extremely inflated prices. What they need to understand is that you can actually buy these from overseas as well, and the fact that they are going out of Mecca, I think next year we will find that these are easier to get and it's not going to be the insanity. So first up, I picked up, I was originally, if I had been going to get one, I think I would have probably got the Fox. Is that the lightest one? No, Deer was the lightest one. I had no idea. So the Deer palette, which was for fair, 2 new shades of blush, 1 new finishing powder, with a best-selling bronzer and highlighter. Swan, this offers best-selling finishing powder and bronzer plus 3 new shades of blush and the new highlighter. And the Fox, 5 new shades of finishing powder, blush, bronzer and highlighter, along with a best-selling blush. So the Fox was probably the best one for if you wanted new products. So this is the Swan. So 3 new shades of blush and this new highlighter formula. The ambient light and the bronzer are similar. I've not used this shade of bronzer before. It is more cool toned. I have used this once, for full disclosure. So we have the finishing powder is dim light, which is what I use all the time in any case. The highlighter is golden hour. The bronzer is natural bronze. The shades of blush, we have luminous coral, sunset flush and mauve fusion. So luminous coral, sunset flush and mauve fusion. Let's put them on my pasty. They are really nice luminous shades. Do I think I've got something similar in over behind me? Absolutely. Dim light is the finishing powder that I like to use. Then we have this new highlighter formula. Oh, and I really like that. That's probably the glowiest highlighter that they have had as far as I can tell. And the bronzer, it's a little bit more cool. I mean, it looks warm there, but it's a bit more neutral than what I'm used to. I'm going to have to wipe this off because I've got a cream top on. I'm going to end up with it all over me. This sold for $162, which sounds like a lot, and it is a lot. However, if we break them down per pan, we're looking at $27. So if you're comfortable spending $27 for a highlighter, for a bronzer, for a finishing powder, a lot of us are for blushes, then it is worth the money because of what you get with it. However, it's only worth it if you're going to use all of them. Now, one of the things I want to remind people, so I've got a base down. I set my face with powder. This is not a setting powder, it's a finishing powder. So it goes over everything at the end to blur it. It is luminous, it gives you that blurred out look. It is your finishing powder, it is the last step. It's not your setting powder. So let's go in with this bronzer. And I was going to use it all over my face, but the Nars, I'm just not sure if I can use their blush in there as a bronzer. So we'll wait and see. And I'll just do this side for now. See what I mean with this is super light and neutral. I really like this. This is probably, quite possibly, my favourite bronzer that I have used with Hourglass. And it's not too pigmented. Like, I'm having to build this up and I'm okay with that. I'd rather have to build something up than have it too pigmented and be like, oh, how am I going to fix that? So that's how we're looking at, as you can see, just this soft bronzy look at the moment. Like I said, it's not too warm, it's quite neutral, and yeah, you need to build it up. So if you like a softer bronze, if you like something, it's not too radiant, which is the other thing. So if you like something that's quite subtle, bearing in mind I'm not putting this over any cream products at the moment. I'm just trying to think what we'll do with the blush. Can we use all of them? Should we try? Let's start with, I'm going to go in this mauve one first. I'm getting the kick off on this because I don't want it too pigmented because I want to use all three. But you can see this is a really nice shade. Again, not too pigmented. Cleaning this brush off now. We're coming down as we go into the corally shade. Corally? Yeah. To add a bit more now. And see how that's just gives your skin a really nice look. Clean off the brush again because yes, we are using all three shades. And now into this coral. This I really like. I'm just going around the edges of that. So you can use them individually, you can use them in conjunction with each other. You can do what I've just done. You can see we've started rose, like we've started here, we've gone down more into a natural flush, and then just around the perimeter, we've got this. This is really nice. This is probably my favourite shade out of them. Now next up, going into the highlighter here. This is the new formula. You saw how bright it was on my cheek. Let's see how this goes. Look at that. This is probably the most intense highlighter I have used from Hourglass. For sure. For sure. A little bit on the tip there. On the tip of the chin. I mean, can you see that? Look at that. Now, next up, oh, I got itchy lip, is the dim light luminous ambient lighting setting powder. The trick with this is going in on a fluffy brush. It's a finishing powder, not a setting powder. So this looks beautiful as is, but what will happen is this is going to create a lit from within look. And I'm just flicking it over my face, not going in too intensely, and this blurs everything together and will make it cohesive. The magic with this, I feel, happens about 15 to 20 minutes, and hopefully we'll see how good the skin looks as we try the Nars as well. What I'm going to do now is actually I'll use the Charlotte Tilbury, set my face down on this side with the Charlotte Tilbury, fan it down and be back to start on the other side with the Nars. Okay, glasses back on to go in with this. So this is the Nars Ethereal Aura Blush Palette. This was $104. You get 6 pans in here as well. Let's have a look. Matte and shimmer finishes. Transform yourself with blush powders that build and blend for multi-dimensional rush of colour. So you have, can I just show you something? This is, I don't know if anyone else has this issue that happens on the app where it cuts it off. Can you see it cuts off the start of the words over here? Drives me nuts. So we have, I want to say, Foolish. It's on the back here. Foolish, a shimmering cool light pink. Let me open this up. Foolish, a shimmering cool light pink. Thrash, a shimmering raspberry pink. And Dark Love, which is a shimmering dusty rose. That is the top row working across that way. Then on the bottom we have Thrill, a matte cool light pink. Teased, which is a matte fuchsia, and Dolce Vita, which is a matte dusty rose. These aren't new shades, is what I will say. Now where this is going to be a bit different is cleaning off this brush. This, let's see if we can do this. This could be a big mistake that I'm about to do. I'm going to go in. Can I use Dolce Vita like a bronzer? It will be a reddishy bronzer, but I want to use all these shades, so I did clean off this bronzing brush on this. But see, I'm getting a bit of colour with it because of the shade of it. I'm actually not mad at that. It is obviously, you can see this looks now looks warmer, this looks redder for sure, and that's okay. Because we just want to see, you're doing the same thing down with using this down the side of my nose. What we can do with a product, and who says that I couldn't use this as just a flush of colour? Okay, going in. Ooh, she's pigmented. This is the shade Teased, and I have flicked it off like I did. You can see that is definitely more pigmented, and we're going to have blush blindness because I'm going over the top of that with the shimmers after. Cleaning off that brush, going into the shade Thrill now, this matte cool pink. See that flicking off, just so that we've only got a hint of it on here. I actually think that that might be, I prefer this than this, I think. It's a bit more subtle. And look, I could build that up, and I am. But I'm also mindful of the fact that I am about to slap these on. So, let's clean off my highlighter brush to start with. If you can hear the wind, we've got a forecast for damaging winds here in Tassie, while the rest of the country I think is getting warmer weather. How am I going to incorporate these three? I'll go in with this first. So this is the shade Thresh. This is the raspberry pink, shimmering raspberry pink coral. So you can use these as blush sliders. That's nice and subtle. Cleaning it off again into Foolish, I think it is. Yeah, Foolish, which is this shimmery cool light pink. Oh, you can see that immediately. Look at that. Let's put a little bit up here. See that pink? Covering myself in highlighter just to get it to you. Cleaning this right off now. I think this is going to be gorgeous. I just don't know where I'm going to place it. Where am I going to go? Oh. Alright, I think I'm going to bring it just up here. I think I've done this shade a disservice because I haven't used it. Haven't used as much as I want to. This is really highlighting my crow's feet. But let me just swatch these. I'm going to swatch. So, what have I got there? This is the matte cool pink. I'm just trying to get that chunk. I mean, you can see. Clean off the fingers. Then we've got the fuchsia. See how nice are they together? And then lastly, I mean, I love Dolce Vita in any case. Yeah, see how gorgeous are they together? I think obviously I've worn them. Let's have a look. I've worn them all together. But if you're not going nuts like me and you're wearing just one of the blushes and then blush sliding over the top of it, I am going to just soak my face on this side so that it melts in. Okay, so here we are. I'm looking slightly crazy at the moment because of how ham I've gone with, excuse me, with everything. But this is clearly, the Hourglass side is a lot more subtle. I don't know if you can see the luminosity is a little bit more on here, but then you could be blinded by the insanity of what is going on with my blush blindness. But I wanted to show you, if you missed out on it, there are a few luminizing powders that you can get. I've got a heap of products in front of me that I really just want to bring to your attention. So with these, I mean, these are a luxury item, no doubt about it. And again, in Australia, that FOMO is real, that drives the need up. A few things, if you cannot afford it, to think about is powder-wise, finishing powder. I've got a setting powder, a loose powder, and some finishing powders that I want to show you. First up, affordable, closest as a pressed powder. Completely different product, but working a similar, are the Morphe Cloud Sets. These offer a radiance, a blurring radiance. Like, it's just really magical. These are one of my favourite products of the year. Infinitely more affordable than the Hourglass. A couple of face powders. Let's have a look. Is the Max Factor Miracle Veil Radiant Loose Powder. Let me get my finger in here. It is a loose powder. It has a radiant finish. And it's not showing up on my hand at all. But what it's going to do is give a radiant blurred light. It is worth looking at if you want something a little bit more affordable. They did have others. I've just played with them. They're not what I thought they were going to be. So the Morphe and then the Max Factor Miracle Veil are probably your closest that you will get to the Hourglass as far as a radiant blurring setting powder. I've had to put my glasses on. I have a heap of Milani products here that are always worth taking a look at. First up, we have the Milani All-Inclusive Eye and Cheek Palettes. I've got a lighter one and a darker one here. Just want to show you something. Bearing in mind the bronze is very different, very warm, but can we for a second look at this? Look at the blushes there and look at the first two blushes here. And then the highlight. Bronzer, completely different. This is the Hourglass. This is the Milani. And then in this coral, Hourglass. And Milani. I mean, come on. Come on, come on. Let's see if the highlight. Hourglass, Milani. If you want an alternative, $29.99, $30. $30, that is the lighter of the two. So you're going to get two blushes and a highlighter that are essentially the same shade, if they are what is taking your eye. This is their darker version. I don't know how they compare to what is in the other palettes, but just to give you an idea. As far as this is concerned, W7 Cosmetics has their Rebel blush, I think it is, in this shade Tea. They have this in a shade called Tease. It is absolutely a knockoff, same packaging. It's a dupe for it. But if you're liking these sorts of pinks, NYX Buttermelt blushes. These are insanely pigmented for a fraction of the cost. If you are wanting something that is a bit glowy, let's look at these two top shades. I don't know how these compare. They are a different. So this finger here with the slightly more silvery is the Nars, and this is BYS. I've got stains happening here. Let's go Nars and BY. Whoop. Chunks. So this is obviously not as cool toned as that one, but it might work. That is the second Nars shade, so it's sort of in between. It's closer. This is closer to Thrash, as you can see. So if you like this one here, this shade here, this is a BYS. For the shade Dark Love, which is this shimmer here, I've wiped my hands again, we've got stains happening. This is it here from Nars, and OXX from Kmart and Target. This is the Luminous Blush in the shade Optimistic, obviously knocking off Rare Beauty. This is not as deep, but you're going to get the same vibe if you're using it as a blush lighter over something else. And in fact, I probably prefer that shade. Now, don't forget with the blushes, Kosas do their blushes. These aren't dupes for it. Not a fair comparison. And Milani. Milani do still really comparable with high-end. I mean, who could forget Luminoso? It is just another option. These are as good as a lot of high-end that are out there now. That was Rose D'Oro, and then Dolce Pink. There's so many more affordable products. You don't need them. Also, as a bronzer, I'll go on this hand. Oh, I'm stained on this side as well. This again from OXX. This is not the same shade, but it is a luminous bronzer for a fraction. These are like $6. That is it on my finger there. This is the Hourglass here. So the OXX is slightly warmer. So this is the OXX, and and this is the Hourglass. But you can see the finish of them. Whilst a different tone, the finish of them is the same. I want to say $6 again. Do you need these? No, you don't. Are they nice? Yeah, this I'm really unsure about until I play with it in a normal capacity. I've shown you some options for them all because they're quite pricey on it. I was really surprised. I'd had the Milani all-in-one face palette for a few years now, and it was a dupe. It was comparable with a couple of years ago. I want to say, I think I used this as a comparison for the Elephant palette a couple of years ago. Yeah, definitely comparing it to those from a couple of years ago. But look, I've got two of the, I always say the hand palette. I'm nowhere near getting through these. They are beautiful. I have been pulling them out. The Ghost Edit palette, and what is my favourite one is the Ambient Unlocked. This is the one that I'll go through first. There shouldn't be the FOMO for them. There shouldn't be the intensity around them that there is every year. If you are just after blushes, then I think that this could be nice. I think that if you prefer cooler tones, this might be the one, but just be aware, like, that is nuts, the highlighter. What do I prefer out of them? I definitely prefer the Swan palette, but I'm going to leave this on my desk and play with it a bit more. So that is it, my friends. Are you going to try and pick up the Swan palette, or are you going to save yourself $134 and grab this if you are really interested in the blush and the highlight? Plus you get 3 eyeshadows and a slightly warmer bronzer. Still think that that is better value for money. Until next time, my loves, don't forget to tell your mum, tell your sister, tell your friends to come along, hang out, subscribe, all that jazz. I hope you've enjoyed this. I'm looking insane. Oh, before we go, just let's have a look at my face here through the T-zone. Can you see, like here, you can notice what's going on sort of here, but here I'm starting to blur. And that's how this sort of softer and blend is, not just from the shades and the subtlety of them, but it is from that diffusing powder. Could do it with the Morphe, could do it with this as well. So, I'll see you next time. Love you, bye. Mwah.